Oh, yeah. Welcome, everybody, to another edition Outside Looking In. My name is Bruce Degger. We're talking about the issues that emanate from Montgomery County and beyond. I let the meters play for a little bit longer because last week I had a technical difficulty. Schmucko, me, the engineer of this program, forgot to take it off mute. So everyone's like, did you lose the license to the music? Did they come down? Did they bust you for copyright and all of that kind of stuff? No. It was human error, just like 3 Mile Island. Human error. So how you doing? I'm doing all right. It's Thursday, getting ready for a big weekend, going up to Hershey, Pennsylvania to play hockey. I don't know why I got to travel to play hockey. It's not like I'm 7 years old anymore. Get in the back of a station wagon with Mark Giordano and John Downs and travel up to West Point or something. But we're going to Hershey, PA to play in a H&A hockey tournament. It's a good one because it's pretty casual. And guys are just out there to have some fun. Plus, Hershey Park and the town of Hershey's nice. So if you ever get up there, it's a worthwhile situation. And I'm doing this podcast for one man and one man only. A teammate of mine, Fred Small. He's like maybe number one super listener. I know I got a couple out there, so they're going to be upset. It's like, no, I'm super listener. Hey, if you want to battle it out, I'm all for it. I'll send you a T-shirt, number one super listener. But Fred needed something for his car, probably to listen on the way up. It's about a 2-hour drive, so I'm giving him a little something right here. So this is for you, my man. Because he was the first one to point out, what happened to the music? What happened to the music? That's what happened. Anyway, what's going on in the world today? Well, outside of Montgomery County, I didn't see any fights at a football game this week, so that's good. I appreciate that. Way to go, Montgomery County students. Tough guys. Everybody wants to fight. Players want to fight. Everyone wants to show how tough they are. You know what's cool now? Sportsmanship is cool. After you knock someone over, I mean, you got to play hard and you got to be mean. You got to do all that kind of stuff. But pick somebody up. Don't put it in somebody's face. Stop flexing. I'm so tired of that. It's so passé. It's not even cool anymore. And that's what passé means. But it's not even cool anymore. It's like, oh, yeah, in my face. You did it. You did it. Wonderful. You know, it's like sometimes you get beat. All right, you beat me on this play. And all these guys who yell first down and get in somebody else's face, hey, it's a long game. Unless you've done it the whole game, get out of my face right now. And I understand why you get smacked. Because it's human nature. It's a human reaction. But that's on the field. It's like sometimes, I mean, that gloating and that showing people up, it's just not cool anymore. What's cool is sportsmanship. Remember that. Put that on a T-shirt. What's cool is sportsmanship. So anyway, outside of Montgomery County, there's a hurricane going on. Hurricane Ian. It's a bad one, right? Florida coast, Naples, Tampa Bay, all of those places, Fort Myers. Boy, they got destroyed. And I don't like to see that at all. Because the worst part about destruction, it takes 5 hours to destroy everything. Right? This hurricane will destroy everything in 5 hours. The toughest part is rebuilding. Because, it takes so long to rebuild. Everybody's got to, planning and all this kind of stuff. No one could just put stuff back up. You can't get like 15 Amish people and put up a barn again. It's got to be a whole thing. And then the insurance. I saw Jim Cantor talking from the Weather Channel, the big tough guy from the Weather Channel, talking to Ron DeSantis, Governor DeSantis. And he's talking about the insurance. He asked real questions. I'll give him credit for this. I mean, this guy's the guy who stands out on the corner and gets pelted all the time with wind and rain and snow and all this kind of stuff. But this last time, he actually caught a tree branch. Once I found out that he was okay, I started laughing. I hate to say it, I started laughing because it's like, get out of 155 mile per hour wind. What are you, a schmuck? Yes, I am. I'm Jim Cantor for the Weather Channel. Guess what? It's raining. There's a lot of wind. Look behind me. I'm sure there's flooding. You might as well just have stock footage on some of this stuff until you see afterwards. But anyway, he asked, I will give him credit for this. He asked Governor DeSantis, he asked him a lot of key questions about insurance. Is it going to be flood insurance? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do all that? And while he's asking these questions, I'm looking at DeSantis and I'm thinking, if he handles this properly, if Florida can get out of this and rebuild and people are satisfied, if he can keep people satisfied, this guy is definitely on lock for the Republican presidential nomination. Because he can show as an executive, he can get through things, unlike Mr. In the Shadows, Trumpy Trumpstein. Yeah, I'll yell at it, and then I'll make sure Jared Kushner takes care of it. Get out of here with that nonsense. I want, if we're going to go far right or to the right or conservative, however, I want someone who knows what they're doing, who's not in there for ego, but actually, it's all ego. Don't get me wrong. Politics is all ego. But who also can help people while also fueling their ego. But if he handles this recovery right, it does set him up. He's got a platform now, and that's all I was thinking. He's got a platform. He's going to be on television nationally all over the place. And to me, it makes a difference. I'm watching him. I watched him in this interview and handled himself pretty well. What do I know about Ron DeSantis? What does anybody really know about the governor until they go out on the campaign trail? But if he handled this well, I've been in a couple things. I've been in Superstorm Sandy. The only time I've ever used the word super before something, because that's the way it was labeled, Superstorm Sandy. I would have called it Massive Incredible Storm Sandy, not super. You know how I feel about that. But anyway, I was there for that. I was there for the Trade Center, et cetera, and so forth. And that's where all of this comes from. Once you experience it, there's a huge disconnect in this country. You're watching it on TV, but it doesn't affect you. I'm going to work tomorrow, and I'm going to have sunny skies in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Well, we'll get the rain Friday night, this weekend, et cetera, but we're not supposed to get what they have. And there's a disconnect because I'll forget about it. Everyone will forget about it. Unless you're impacted by it or you feel it, we're not going to feel people in Florida's pain. We didn't feel because everybody wouldn't let us forget, which is good, but when Katrina came through, we didn't forget their pain because it was in our face each day, which had to be done. But still, did it help? Did it really help New Orleans that much? The recovery's still going on, and that's the problem about destruction. It takes minutes to destroy something, and it takes years to rebuild it. And I don't have the patience for that. Just as a person, I'm not saying you can't do it or go through that, but the patience. People are going to be arguing with FEMA. They're going to be arguing. Let's see how good Jake from State Farm is right now. Let's see Flo from Progressive when their house, I'm sorry, you were in coverage for flood. You're 15 miles inland, but you don't have flood coverage. Normally I wouldn't expect this. I wouldn't expect it. But now with climate change, and again, I told you how I feel about climate change. I believe in it. I understand it. And even if I don't believe in it, let's just do things for the hell of it. Why, let's cut emissions. Let's do this just in case, right? Just in case. But people right off the bat, it's just not a natural disaster. It's caused by climate change. It's much worse by climate change. How about we deal with the people and what's going on instead of starting throwing your own stinking agenda in something? Yeah, maybe it is. But what are you going to do about it right now? Think the people in Florida who've seen a boat go through their front yard give a damn about climate change? Oh, yeah, this wouldn't have happened without climate change. What happened to Andrew, right? Hurricane Andrew. I got in an argument with my son. I said, I think Hurricane Andrew was a bit more devastating, at least inland on with the wind and stuff. And I saw the stats. Hurricane Andrew had topped out at 162 miles per hour, and this was 155. Devastating, nonetheless. Devastating nonetheless. But was Hurricane Andrew blamed on, that ranks as number 2 or number 3 storm in Florida or all time? Was that blamed on climate change? 165 per hour winds? It's just, let's get our priorities straight. Yes, let's take care of climate change. Yes, let's do what we can to cut emissions. Yes, yes, and yes, and yes. Let's all be yes men on that. That's okay. It's okay to be a yes person on that. But just don't try to tack on every time. Ooh, pin the tail on a donkey, pin the tail, weather event, pin the climate change tail on the donkey. We know. But what are you doing? What are you doing about it? As an individual. Oh, my government needs. What are you doing as an individual? Because this whole thing, everybody loves to yell and scream from the cheap seats. The cheap seats, that's the most vocal. Hey, I'm all for this and I'm all for that. But if you ask it, not in my backyard. No, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to help you here. Let's talk about the immigration policy right now. Because immigration is affecting the whole country. Because you got governors like Abbott and DeSantis, who were sending people. DeSantis, that was a publicity stunt, and pretty much so, And Abbott's annoyed at DeSantis because of this. But anyway, Abbott is sending people across the country here. He's like, well, if Joe Biden can have immigration flights in the middle of the night, I'm going to put people on buses. We're going to take the economical route. But I'm going to put people on buses, send them to New York City, send them to Washington, D.C., send them to all these sanctuary cities where everybody's up on a soapbox saying, hey, we'll do it. It's inhumane what's going on at the border. Inhumane, terrible. How dare these guys do this and that and let everybody in and do everything. This country was built on immigrants. Yeah. And they all went through Ellis Island. Schmuck. Don't you realize that? There was a situation where people were being screened and understood of what would they to come into the country. And people with typhoid fever were sent back. I mean, it's inhumane. Yes, maybe. But you got to protect what you have to protect. And now, is it more humane to build a tent city at Orchard Beach in New York City, in the Bronx? Is that more humane? You know what's happening with Mayor Bowser and Mayor Adams? They're all open their mouths, and all the people in these cities open their mouths. Yes, we're so liberal. We're so open. Come, And now that they're coming, we can't handle them. 9,500 new mouths to feed and take care of in Washington, D.C. They're not ready for it. I told you last week, or the last podcast we were on, Muriel Bowser is looking to get the National Guard in here. She's opening up an office for $1 million for administrative stuff so she can handle all this for 10,000 people. $1 million for 10,000 people on top of asking for federal aid. Adams is opening up a tent city, putting people into hotels and all of this kind of stuff, into homeless centers, when you already have the homeless people that you have to take care of in your own city. Abbott really put the screws to everybody. But you know what? I blame him, but I don't blame him. Because he's saying, look what my border towns are feeling. Look what we're feeling. You have to staunch the bleeding here. You have to figure out a system. And Biden's like, no. Whatever Trump did, we're going to turn it around, because whatever Trump put his fingers on was inhumane. No matter if it was working or whatever, Trump is a bad man no matter what. He breathes bad air. He gives us bad aura. He does bad everything. And I'm no Trump fan. Believe me, I'm no Trump fan. I don't want a king. And that's what he wants to be. And his ego is way too much for me. But everybody equates the policies to the man. The policies did work. Some of them did work. Caravans of 4,000 people did not march through Mexico anymore. Because Trump's wall, I'll tell you this, Trump's wall was not at our border with Mexico. It made Mexico close the border to Central America or tighten it. And all this people, the country's built on immigration, yes, but people had papers. People had everything. People were screened. I have pictures on my wall from Ellis Island of the ward that no one could get out of, right? The typhoid ward or whatever it was. The people who were in quarantine and stuff like that. They misspelled your names. They did all of this. But there were people checking people. They weren't all just coming across the Hudson Bay, New York Harbor. They weren't walking across New York Harbor from Staten Island. They were on a boat from Italy or from Ireland or from wherever. It didn't matter. The country's built on immigrants. Go back to 1910, go back to 1860 and see how well the immigrants were treated then as well. Other than just once the great immigration came to the United States in the 20s, that's when it became a little bit more. But do you have someone to live with? Do you have somewhere to go? Do you have something, blah, 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 blah? But everyone wants to equate it to racism. It's not racism. It's just you cannot. If you have a family of 4 and 10 more people come over unexpectedly, you don't have enough Hungry Man TV Swanson dinners to put on the table. It's that simple. It's a numbers game. It's that simple. It's a numbers game. You have to regulate immigration because of the numbers. Texas can't handle it. Arizona can't handle it. You want to go down to those border towns? Be my guest. Go down there and get on your plane or get in your Ferrari or get in your BMW or whatever. Drive down to the border and serve a meal. Give them blankets. Donate your time instead of your lip service. Tired of the lip service. Everybody wants to be everybody's hero until it's time to roll up your sleeves and do something. And you know what I'm talking about, and you know it's true. I'm not against any of this stuff. Bring the people in. We need them because people now don't want to work anyway. And the immigrants who are coming in, the people who are coming here looking for a better life will probably do the jobs that we need them to do, right? And now, Bruce, you're looking down on them. No. If you don't speak the language, you don't have the education, you get those kinds of jobs, right? But they're necessary. They are necessary jobs. Because no one in the United States wants to work anymore. Oh, we all got to stay home. COVID. You know what? We can all get COVID 3-4 times. I don't want it. I really don't want it. I've had it once. I don't want it again. I want to stay away from it. I don't want to get sick. But come on, man. You know, as I said before, you're going to pack the bars, you're going to pack the restaurants, you're going to pack not the movie theaters. Movies haven't put out a good movie. You know, if I owned a movie theater, I'd be so mad at Hollywood right now because there's nothing but junk getting released. You know, Top Gun, the greatest movie of all time, because it's the only thing anybody wanted to see. When it's going to go up against, movies that wouldn't even make Cinemax at 1 a.m., of course everyone's going to go see Top Gun. Tom Cruise played it extremely smart. But I get off the point there. But, everybody wants to go out, wants to do things, but they don't want to go to work. They'll go to a packed bar. They'll go to a Kenny Chesney concert. They'll go here. They'll go there. But, no. Work is too much. Going back to work is too much. Being in an office, it scares me. It gives me phobias. I have anxiety about it. That's a discredit to the people who have anxiety for real. Soft, silly suckers. That's what it is. Yeah, and I work out of the house. But if I got a job where I got to go in each day, and I'm of age right now, I understand about lifestyle. Believe me, I'm not sitting here, nose to the grindstone, you got to do it, blah, 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 blah. I'm as lazy as the rest of you when I want to be. But if I had to go into the office, okay, I'm going to go into the office. If I have to share ideas with somebody, I'm going to share ideas with somebody. I believe in the office atmosphere. Oh, you're a boomer. You're too old. No, that's the way business is done, and that's the way things get generated. You create a team. Everybody looks at their sports teams, or maybe they don't. Maybe they look at their NFL teams. And what I mean is, maybe they don't because of this gambling and this fantasy football nonsense. Nobody roots for a team anymore. They just root for individual players because, he got me 116 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. That's my man. I'm a Giant fan, but he's on the Cowboys. But he's my favorite player because he won my fantasy league. Grow up. Grow up. I told you before, I'm the worst fantasy player there ever was, so I put it away. When it first came out, it seemed interesting. But this was like 22 years ago when it first came out, where people still had to do calculations on paper and math, and the league commissioner didn't have ESPN to do all his math work. The league commissioner deserved his cut. I'm a Giant fan, a New York football Giant fan, and back in the day, they played at 1 o'clock and the Jets played at 4 o'clock. So those are my two teams. I didn't have national games. I didn't get to see Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers every week. How boring is that, by the way? I didn't get to see them every week. So what did I do? I only picked Giants and Jets because those are the two teams I rooted for. The Giants and the Jets. So I had all Jets, all Giants, and we did all right. 1 year I lost in the championship, but it's like, I don't even know. I mean, I had Barry Sanders or whatever because he wasn't even close to my division. This is how long ago it was, by the way. I was also a young person back then. I put away the childish things. Not all of them, but most of them. But anyway, it was now nobody cares about their football team. It's about their fantasy team or the gambling or it's inundation. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But I'm talking about jobs before, right? Academics now, right? Everybody has to go to college. I don't believe that either. I think we've done a great disservice that people don't think about trades, about being a plumber, an electrician, or whatever. If I knew about this stuff, if someone explained a pension to me, and again, if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. But if someone explained a pension to me when I was 18 years old, I might be in a pension-filled job. A couple days on, a couple days off, have 2 different businesses, get paid at 40, put in 20, 25 years, retire with a pension, start up another job that I can do with a trade on the side for all cash kind of stuff. I mean, that's genius. And all these people about 2007, when was it? 2007, 2008. Again, dating myself for you youngins. But about that time, everybody wanted work done on their house and you couldn't find a contractor. You couldn't find one guy to do anything because everybody was doing something else. And it was like these guys, they built something with their hands, but then they had enough smarts and enough savvy to create their own business to start hiring out other people to do the same thing for them. And guess what? They're sitting at the same country club you are. But to me now, all right, I got a kid who's in high school, and we're going to take a high school bent right now. He's in 10th grade. Doing okay. Everything is fine. No problems here. But to me, academics and youth sports have become the same. Kids and parents push their kids to be professional pro players, right? Whether it's hockey, football, basketball, whatever. We're going to get you all the help you need with tutors and extra coaches and all of this kind of stuff to be a professional athlete. But now, schools, the academics, and maybe, I believe in striving. I want to make that point. I believe in striving. I believe in challenging people. But sometimes my son was supposed to take AP history last year in 9th grade. He's coming in. It's the first year out of COVID, right? A year and a half out of school. Doesn't even know what the hell's going on. He's going into Quince Orchard High School, 9th grade. Like high school's not going to be a big enough transition for him. And now they want to slam him with an AP history course in 9th grade. You know, as I said, I believe in striving, but it's like sometimes AP history. I mean, APs now, everybody's got AP courses. I mean, now he's got two AP courses here, honors course there. He's a smart kid, but I don't know if he's that smart. He's carrying a schedule. My 8th grader is carrying a schedule that I carried in 11th grade. Geometry, or 10th grade he had geometry, but physics and geometry and intro to engineering, which is a real course because they're building cars and stuff that are aerodynamic, etc. And again, maybe it's better for the youth to start learning and stressing themselves a little bit more. But the whole thing about STEM, I understand STEM and science and technology, etc. But some of the humanities are being lost. My kids can build something with a Tinker Toy, but they can't write. They can't read a book. They don't understand the meaning of a book. There's got to be a balance to all this stuff. There really has to be a balance. And what I'm saying is, like, 9th grade, is everybody that much smarter? I don't think so. I don't think Steve Jobs or Bezos or any of these guys or multi-man. I know Jobs is dead, okay? Don't come at me with that. Or Bill Gates, that was a better example. They're intelligent people. Very intelligent people. I'm not sure if they were taking AP or physics in 8th grade. I'm not sure if they were taking AP history in 9th grade. And they've done pretty damn good. I just can't believe everyone is so much smarter. Are we just pushing them so hard? You got to do this. You got to get into college. You got to do. And the whole thing about college, fraud. And why do I say fraud? I believe in college too. My kids have to go to college because they don't have a trade. They can't build with their hands. So they better learn some academically and become an engineer or something to that effect, because they can't. If the world collapsed tomorrow, we're all collapsing with it. They might be able to put some cardboard boxes together, but they're not going to be able to build a wood or a brick house. My fault it is, but I didn't learn that either. And we talk about immigration. My dad was the first generation of American. His parents, they worked with their hands, but we lived in a city. They lived in the Bronx, New York, on the Grand Concourse. So what is he learning there? What's he building there? What woodworking is he taking there? Come work in my shop, Milty. That's my dad. Cut the cloth, do this, do that. So that's what he did. So when I he moved to the suburbs. I didn't have anybody to teach me that. He could have taught me some other things, but I wasn't going to work in a manufacturing shop. There were no more. The whole garment district, poof. So, he could have taught me that trade, but he couldn't teach me a trade of bricklaying or anything, or plumbing or anything of that sort. And this whole thing that there's a stigma to that. Come on, man. You ever get a plumbing bill? Right? Whoever owns that company, hand over fist. Guy takes out 2 lug nuts and takes out his wrench, does this, solders the pipe together. $600. How you doing? 30 minutes, $600. It's like he's a rock star. But again, with these academics, it's like, everybody's got to go to college. We have to go to college. And what I was saying about fraud about college is because we were at the dinner table yesterday, and my son was like, I don't think I can write that well. I can't write this or whatever. Everybody was going to need an essay or something. And you know what my wife and my father said? They both turned to him and goes, somebody can write it for you. How do you think everybody gets into school? There's a business. There is a business about getting into colleges. A business. And that's what I'm talking about. If you want to play on my varsity team, I'm the coach of this varsity soccer team. You have to play on my youth team. And then you have to go to my clinic. And then you have to do something else. Get paid. So now you want to get into college? You have to come to my essay writing class. And then you also need my academic help to show you the ins and outs of how to get into college, what University of Pennsylvania is looking for, or what Harvard is looking for, or Wisconsin. I know the ins and outs. Pay me, and I'll get you there. And resume writing. Professional resume writers. I know that's been going on for a long time, but everybody makes a business out of stuff that people used to be able to handle themselves. Good for the entrepreneurial spirit. Hooray! America! America! Hooray! But I'll tell you one thing, man. It's not helping anybody. It's not helping anybody think on their feet. Oh, I'll just hire a person for that. I'll just hire someone for that. I don't need to do that. I don't need to go to the store anymore. I could get Uber Eats. I could get DoorDash. And I'll tell this story to the day I die. My wife had COVID. She's wanted to get the salad from Cava up here, a restaurant. Salad cost her $10. If she got it through DoorDash, it would have cost her an extra $9. $19 for a $10 salad. No. I said, Gina, I will go. All right, the place is 7 minutes away. I'll pick it up. If you order it on your phone, use your Funky Fresh app, I will go pick it up for you and save me $9. Right? I'm no millionaire. I'm not doing badly. My kids eat. I eat. But I'm not going to give away $9 because I'm too lazy to do something. Stop being lazy. The only delivery that I used to grow up with was pizza and Chinese food. Now you can get whatever. I want Oshkosh by gosh. I want some tapas or whatever you guys do. I mean, whatever fancy new trend there is. I'm too old for this, man. I'm too old to be following this kind of stuff. Everybody calls me simple. And you know what? So what? So what? Playing on a hockey team now. And this is how simple I am, right? You open up the cooler, the most refreshing beer I can get after busting my ass for an hour, sweat pouring down my face because I actually work hard. If I'm going to be out there, I'm not going to go push, glide. I'm actually going to go push. But anyway, I get off the ice. The most refreshing beer I can find is a Beck's because there's IPAs and this and that. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Let's get some Budweiser in there, some Miller Lite or anything. So the other day, it's like, as a joke, someone put a Natty Bohemian, Natty Bo, the Baltimore beer. I had 4 of them because I'm like, this is what I want. It's light, refreshing, and refreshing. That's it. It's light and refreshing. I don't get a headache after drinking this because I'm going to go to sleep at 1 o'clock at night and got to get up at 6 in the morning. Don't ever play men's league. These hours are terrible because, hockey used to be a sport that was underground. You could play hockey, sometimes you had to play at 4:30 in the morning or 1 o'clock at night. But those were like when you had to rent the ice outside of things. Now I'm in a league and everybody wants to play hockey. Ovechkin down here and Crosby out in Pittsburgh and also everybody wants to play youth hockey. So now you can't get ice time. You're a men's league. You get on at 10:30 at night. And there was a guy, I think it was Steve Light was his name. He said, hey, if the game starts on a Wednesday and ends on a Thursday, I'm not coming. I didn't understand what he was saying, but now I do. So we're in the high school realm. What's going on in high school? It's the season of the homecoming. And Quince Orchard, I don't know if this is just Quince Orchard High School or Montgomery County High Schools or Maryland High Schools. I don't know if this goes on in New York because I haven't been up there in a long time. My New York card is starting to fade. It's like you won't see me anymore. I'm like Marty McFly in those pictures. Anything about me in New York is starting to I think that's Bruce in the background. I'm not sure. You remember Bruce? Yeah, he was a good guy. He was here when George Washington used to walk up when Lord Howe went up Wilmot Road. But anyway, so guys have to ask girls out to homecoming. Okay, I'm cool with that. No problems with that. But what I have a problem with is it has to be a show. There's no going over to a girl at a locker anymore saying, hey, yeah, Susie, would you want to go to homecoming with me? If it's no, it's okay. Yes. What? You said yes? Outstanding. Great. I'll pick you up. I'll get you a corsage, the whole 9. All right. Now, what they do at Quince Orchard High School, you have to make a sign. You have to make it pretty. It's like a billboard. There was a girl up the block. She plays field hockey. And this guy had to make a sign for her. And her number is 8. Hey, 8. It would be great 8 if you went to homecoming with me. You're taking something, I don't know, for a 15-year-old, a 14, 15-year-old, who's going on his first dates or anything of that sort, and you're putting so much pressure on these guys. He's got to make a show of it. What if the girl says no? What if you're saying, okay, you remember the story of the prettiest girl in class never got asked to the prom because everybody thought she was the prettiest girl and she wouldn't go with you. And then she ends up with this guy, with like Alan Wachtel or somebody. And you're like, how did that happen? Because he asked her. Oh, okay. But no, I mean, all of us have been rejected. All of us have rebuffed, whatever, gotten the stiff arm, the Heisman. But so how do you take something about asking this one girl out? I mean, if you're going to make a sign and make it like you're proposing, I mean, my proposal wasn't even this elaborate. Seriously, it wasn't even this elaborate. I got down on a knee at a party and said, Gina, will you marry me? And that was it. I didn't have a sign. The mariachi band wasn't in the back. You know, this is the whole thing now. Everything's staged. It's got to be for cameras. So anyway, but what I'm saying here is, what if she says no? I'm sorry, Bobby. I was thinking about going with Steve. Oh, let me update that for 2022. Sorry, Brooke. Or no. What name can we use, right? Sorry, Ian. I was going to go with Aiden. Okay. But I mean, seriously, we want to eliminate pressure, no pressure situations, no pressure for tests, no pressure for this, it's a safe space. When did asking a girl out to homecoming become an unsafe space? It's always been unsafe, but now you're putting yourself out there. It's embarrassing now. I have to make signs and get balloons and a cake and all of this nonsense. Are you kidding me? It's a big deal. There is so much pressure. Kids put pressure on themselves anyway. Oh, maybe I'll ask Susie. I don't know. You know what I mean? Talk about building up courage. And now you got to make a sign and put yourself out there. Hopefully she says yes. Hopefully all these people say yes. You better know. There's no surprise anymore. Oh, she said yes. Cool. Now it's like, she said yes. She better have said yes because I made this damn sign. I went to the damn store, bought Crayola 64 box of crayons to make it. When was the last time I used crayons? I'm serious about that. But everything's a safe space. Safe space for transgender. Safe space for kids who are afraid of the rain. Safe space for everybody. But not now. Not asking a girl out for homecoming. And it's encouraged. That's the thing. It's encouraged. It goes through. Oh, it's so cute. Bobby made a sign for my little leg. Are you kidding me? I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that. But if I'm trying to put myself back at 15, that was 30... I was going to say, I blew the joke. I was going to say that was 87 years ago. But about 30 years ago, 40 years ago maybe, asking a girl out, that was a big deal. And I sure as hell wasn't going to make a sign. I was lucky to open my mouth and get the words out. I'm going to make a sign. It's ridiculous. You know it's ridiculous. Agree with me. Just say yes. Yes, Bruce. Yes, Bruce. Outside Looking In is a program that tells me when I go off base, you set me straight. You are the voice of reason, my man. Pots and pans, my man. Anyway, we're going to end on this. We're going to end on this note. For a program I thought I had nothing to say, I was just doing this for Fred Small. I didn't think I had anything to say. I have a lot to say, right? It just starts. It's a stream of consciousness. I have a couple notes written down, but nothing scripted here. This is all top of the dome, like I used to be a freestyle rapper or something. Oh, you never know. I might have been. Be nice. Here to flip the script. A rhyme is more frightening than tales from the crypt. Oh. That's from 1990. I'll tell you that. But anyway, expectations. Let's talk about expectations for a second. It's amazing. It's a bad way to live life, but it's a good way too, because expectations, you won't be disappointed if you don't have expectations of people, right? If you know who they are and you expect them to be different or change, then you're going to be disappointed. But if you know who they are and you accept them as who they are, and this is not about acceptance, this is about you. This is a you thing, not a them thing. But if you accept them as they are, if you know they're going to disappoint you because you have an expectation of them, don't have any expectations or of a situation or anything. If a guy, I don't want to get into it because it'll just get me into trouble because I don't want to sell anybody out. But, whether it's hockey, whether it's anything, if you don't have any expectations, you won't be disappointed. Again, it's a very cynical way to live, but sometimes, and I'm not saying to put that up with everybody, but just know the ones who don't call you back. Oh, they never call me back. Well, no, they're not going to call you back. So that's just the way it is. Simple. Oh, this one never follows through on what they're supposed to do. Oh, You know that. Then don't rely on them for anything. Simple. My name is Bruce Negrin. I am a simple man, and the program is called Outside Looking In. I hope you enjoy. Do yourself a favor, right? Don't even do me a favor, because I got like 50 people who listen to this podcast. I want to get it bigger just because I want to get the word out, and I know that there's an underground swell of us who might not agree with everything, but we're all in that, we're in that lane. We might be to the left of it, to the right of it, but we're all in that lane, and we all think the same way, and we're all like, yeah, okay, I'm just glad. It's like underground radio. Coming to you from the south of France. This is the Resistance. I'm bugging out, man. Bugging out. But anyway, the program's called Outside Looking In. My name is Bruce Negrin, as you know, because I've told you 6 times. But do yourself a favor, and this is the favor I'm telling you to do. I have expectations, so don't disappoint me. The favor is like it and subscribe. Just subscribe. Put it in Apple Podcasts so I don't have to tell you when it's out. So you can just be pleasantly surprised. Oh, I'm disappointed Bruce doesn't put out a program every week. But I don't have the expectation anymore of him putting out a program every week. So when it shows up in my inbox or in my Apple Podcasts or on Spotify or whatever I listen to podcasts, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. The podcast is in. Anyway, have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. And, people in Florida, people everywhere else, be safe. Do what you got to do. And I'll talk to you soon.